Namo Buddhaya, Ajahn. Vandami from India, Ajahn. I have a lot of fear of the future, maybe overthinking, I can say, or outcomes. I'm a medical doctor, a baby specialist. I observe nowadays that I have a lot of fear that when a pregnant mother gets admitted, even before the baby is born, I am worried how the baby will be or if any baby might become sick. My thoughts keep proliferating more and more. I observe that I don't want others to blame me for my work. How to overcome this, Ajahn? Please help. Thank you so much, Ajahn.
So, being a doctor who helps or who looks after children, babies, this is something that's understandable to have worries like this. The Buddha had us establish ourselves so that we don't think about things that have passed already with grief, and we don't speculate about that which is yet to come as well. So there's this desire for all beings who are born to be safe. And when women become pregnant, then they put their hopes in your hands. So you have this kindness and compassion, wishing for them to be safe, both the mother and the child. But here you need to understand that you try to do your best. And when you've done your best already, then you need to accept whatever happens. So you do to the fullest of your efforts and your abilities. But still, if something happens after that, then that's a matter of karma. If there's not anything you can do about it, then that is karma there. There's this pressure as well that you're experiencing. Really thinking in kind of a negative way is good as well, because you can think about what possible dangers may arise and then work to prevent those, or ask what will you do in those scenarios. But if the fear is a lot, then that isn't so useful. So maybe like a soldier who is parachuting, training to parachute, and they're afraid of it, and the more they do of it, perhaps the more they become afraid. So there can be fear of these mistakes, fear of problems that may arise. So in that case, you should chant. And you can do this before you operate or before you go to work. So chant these verses, asking for the barami of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, that may this child be safe. So you can chant the Karaniya Metta Sutta or the Angulimala Parita, wishing for the child to be safe. So yato hang bhagini ariyaya jatiya jato nabi janami sanchicha panang jivita voro peta tena sajena soti te hotu soti gabasa. Or in English, sister, since being born in the noble birth, I am not aware that I have intentionally deprived a being of life. By this truth may you be well, and so may the child in your womb. So you can chant that, give rise to a feeling of confidence in your heart, asking for the barami of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, of Venerable Angulimala, for this child to be safe and for any child that is unwell to be better. You can really set your heart on that chant, and if you have any kind of holy water, you can try drinking some of that as well. Really relying upon the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. But if after all of this, something still happens, then that's above and beyond your ability to solve. So set your hearts on this chanting, and try to repeat these chants over internally in your heart.
Dear Ajahn Anan, thank you for your teachings. My question is, how do I let go of my anger towards those who have harmed me? Thank you.
So train to cultivate metta, loving kindness, train in meditation. And if you get angry frequently or think about people who have harmed you, it's natural that this will cause anger. So it's normal this way to not like those who have harmed us. And that's how it is for everyone. This anger gets buried deeply within our hearts. And then whenever we think about those instances, then this anger appears again. So therefore, we need to develop this loving kindness so that we can forgive. Seeing how they desire happiness just like us, they don't want to suffer just like us. And that they harmed us, what was actually happening was ignorance was in their heart controlling them, giving rise to these words or these thoughts that caused harm. So we need to establish ourselves that, all right, now I'm going to practice following the Buddha. And so I need to be able to forgive. I need to give up this ill will. Because if we get angry and have this ill will, what's happening is we're just harming, destroying ourselves. Our bodies are in a terrible state, our minds are in a terrible state, the brain gets tired. Because if we're in a state of anger, then there are these chemicals that arise within the brain that tell us to fight, and that brings about a bad state in the body. So what we can try doing is breathing in deeply 3 times, and this can help to adjust the state of the body so it's brought back into balance. So we establish ourselves in virtue. And when we're out of this condition or the situation where people are harming us, then we train in meditation and developing metta, and this improves bit by bit. When we don't see their face, then we can forgive them. But when we do see them, then this old emotion, mood comes up all over again. And that's just normal. So it takes time. So just keep going without stopping. Really set your heart on developing this metta. And then the anger will reduce. Your forgiveness will increase until eventually you're able to see the Satya Dhamma, the truth of not self. That this anger, it's not me. It's just a Dhamma, a quality that arises within the heart due to craving, clinging. And the one who did this harming, it's also not self. It was just this ignorance and these defilements there which produced this proliferation, which conditioned the mind to be like this. So when you see the Dhamma, we see that there's no me, there's no them, and then things become a lot lighter.
Dear Luang Por, may I please seek Luang Por's guidance on my practice? I have been practicing breath meditation. In sitting meditation, when awareness is clear, visions like certain parts of the body, bones, muscles, blood, organs, etc., will appear. A teacher advised to contemplate the elements until one is able to see suffering, impermanence, and not self. Another teacher advised to contemplate the feelings and whether one has thoughts when experiencing the vision. In the recent week, a vision of a forearm bone appeared, and while being aware of that vision, a small tree branch appeared and replaced the bone. I am aware that it is an earth element in the sitting itself. Can Luang Por please advise what needs to be done to progress further in the practice? Thank you.
So the seeing of the body as being just bones, different parts of it, the blood, the different organs, seeing it as being elements, or the subha, unattractive, or the earth element. So you're taking up this object of the bones now specifically. This is what has come up as your meditation object, and that's changing. So the bone then changes into a tree branch and into the earth element. You can see it break. You see how these elements are not self, they're not me. So both of these ways or methods that you have been given are possible. So the first, seeing the body as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, as changing and stressful and not self, that's correct as well. And the second, contemplating the feelings or any proliferation, thoughts, sankharas that come up, and seeing those as being not self, and contemplating any objects that come up within the mind. So don't doubt about this. If there are any moods or objects that arise within the mind clearly, then you can contemplate those. If there's any proliferation that happens, you can see that as being something that's not sure, that's inconstant. Or you can focus on these bones, see them change into the earth element, and then contemplate that as being not self. And so both of these ways are correct.
I rejoice with everybody involved in this retreat, giving us the opportunity to practice Dhamma. We hear a lot about sitting and walking meditation, but not so much about standing and lying down. When are these suitable, and are there any particular instructions on how to use them?
So the standing posture, if you feel like that's something that is familiar, comfortable, or you're skilled at, then you can do that. But for the most part, we use the sitting posture and the walking posture. But if you've done both of those already and you're feeling achy, then you can use the standing posture and stand still and upright. You close the eyes in a way that's just right, not too tight. Just like, or you can kind of gaze ahead, just like you do walking meditation. So you stand there still and can bring the awareness to the breath. Stand in a way that is stable and strong. So feet not too far apart from each other nor too near. And stand in a way that is composed. And then bring the awareness to the top of the head and then down through the body to the feet and back up to the top of the head again. You can do this 3 times. And then develop a heart of loving kindness, wishing, may I be well and happy, may all beings be well and happy. You can bring awareness then to the breath. On the in-breath, recite Bud. On the out-breath, Do. Or just while you're standing there, you can just recite Buddho, Buddho, Buddho over in your heart. If there's a lot of thoughts going on, then increase the frequency of that Buddho recitation. So Buddho, 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 like this. And if the thoughts are still a lot, then you can breathe in very deeply, filling up the lungs, and then breathe all of the air out and do this 3 times. So this can help to adjust things so they're brought back into a state of balance. With regards to the lying down posture, that if you've already put your effort into meditating in the standing and walking and sitting postures, and you still feel tired after that, and you're not able to overcome that sleepiness, then you can lie down with mindfulness. Lie down on the right side with the feet on top of each other. And once more, establish the awareness in the body from the head down to the feet and then back up again. And then develop a heart of loving kindness. And afterwards, bring the awareness to know the breath. And if then you fall asleep, then that is okay.